Hey, what's going on, everybody? I basically want to do a prediction on a Manny Pacquiao versus Brandon Rios fight that goes down tomorrow night. This is a fight where it's a lot at stake, I would say, for both fighters, because you got Manny Pacquiao that's coming off of, a knockout by Marquez. Marquez knocked him on his ass. For you guys that watch boxing out there, that was a devastating moment. He put the boy to sleep, and ever since then, everybody been thinking about, is Manny Pacquiao gonna make that comeback? Can he recover? Because me being someone that used to box, your confidence and somewhat of your ego has a lot to do with how you perform in the ring. We can look at fighters like Mike Tyson, when that confidence left, and that somewhat of an ego left. A lot of times fighters don't perform the same way. Even though you might have the physical attributes to deliver in the ring, boxing is more intelligent than physical. So that's something that is questionable from Manny Pacquiao's point of view. And then we have Brandon Rios. He's a fighter that's earns his position, but I think if he comes off with a win with this fight against Pacquiao, it can raise him to be one of those top caliber fighters, to go up and fight, cats like Mayweather or Amir Khan or Marquez, put them in a different type of, caliber when it comes to the fighters in the welterweight division or, within around that weight class. But, it's going to be an interesting fight. When it comes to the technicality of the fight, Brandon Rios is somebody who doesn't know how to move. Boxing is not just going in there swinging punches and just treating it as a bar fight. It is a skill. You do have to use your mind. You do have to use techniques in the ring. And Brandon Rios, a lot of times, he comes directly at you, which creates an exciting fight. But at the same time, he doesn't protect himself. He just goes, punch for punch with you, and he's easy to hit because he doesn't have too much technique in the ring. And then we have somebody like Manny Pacquiao, another guy who comes straight at you, but I think he's more technical. I think he has the attributes to actually outsmart Brandon Rios. So my prediction at the end of the day, I think it will go to decision. Somebody might get knocked down. If I had to put my money on, I say it will be Brandon Rios. He could possibly get caught with something simply because he doesn't protect himself. He just comes straight at you, and he gives an exciting fight. But at the same time, it's easy for him to get knocked on his ass simply because he doesn't have any defense. And like what's his face? Teddy Atlas always says, some boxers get offended if you don't hit them, simply because they don't have any defense. But my prediction is Manny Pacquiao winning this fight by decision, going the length. Somebody could possibly get knocked down, but I don't think that will happen, but I don't put it past me. You guys that watch boxing, give me your feedback. Let me know who you feel like is going to win this fight. But my money's on Manny Pacquiao. And a lot of you guys talking about, if he wins this, maybe we could talk about Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao again. I think we need to leave that subject alone. First of all, because the business aspect of it is so far out of range, I don't even know if we'll get a chance to see that. And be quite frankly, the last fight Mayweather had against Alvarez, I think that was the most exciting fight. I think that would have been more exciting than Manny Pacquiao, simply because you have a young guy facing an old guy and they both were undefeated. But I just don't see Manny Pacquiao beating Floyd Mayweather. But you guys give me your feedback. I'm out. Peace.